Hello everyone, my name is Joey Stevens. The Trigger movement began with a few bods in America giving lectures and David Icke, and they carried on for many years on their own to none effect. They must have reached a few hundred people at most. The Trigger movement began when I started sharing films and talking about things on my Facebook page, and it took off and people began opening up pages on Facebook about their particular issues, and it's really taken off, and now there's a worldwide awakening. Again, I started that because I beat Gay in there. Gay was the devil who afflicted Major God, and all the miseries of history are actually down to him. He treated me like a ventriloquist doll. And anyway, it's a long story, I don't want to go into it, but anyway, it works out that I'm another one like Krishna, and I suppose Jesus and the others, except they preach be good, be obedient, be good little slaves to the reptilians. And of course, if I'm preaching anything, it's disobey. Don't be good slaves. Grow up, for God's sake. Be a man. Be a real woman. Say to yourselves, we can't go on with this. The reptilians, I'm a little bit of a generalist. I say that word, lizards or reptilians, of all of them. In fact, there's loads of different species. They're not all as guilty as each other, although they are all guilty of something. We've got tyrannosaurs who try to make themselves a bit more gentle, which is a credit to them. But let's not go overboard with that. They still eat people. They eat horses as well. Not very nice. It's all about what they eat. The whole thing is about food all the time. The Draco reptiles, we're not sure what they look like. They're very, very big and over muscly. They're a little walking beefcake. I mean, if anyone wants to eat anybody, we should eat them, because they just are built like bulls. They're disgusting, really. I don't like a cup of tea at all. Then you've got lizards, which are these slimy, glabrous, ghastly looking things coming out of people's heads we find. Then you've got this other kind, like on my film on Facebook, which is that green person with he's got tyrannosaur eye flashes, a frog kind of throat, a tongue that keeps coming out. You can see he can't help it, he just dribbles out of his mouth the whole time right down his chest. But the tongue is pink. Well, a pink tongue tells you he's got to have mammal in him. Because if you look at every serpent I've ever seen, every lizard, they have grey mouths. They don't have pink mouths. Grey and white. So anyway, he obviously does eat people. He has bird eyes. If you look at his eyes, those are a bird's eyes. So really, they're chimera. Awful looking thing. And we've got grey aliens, which are another version of the same thing, with the big black eyes. Are actually taken from crabs, and they just use them as same as we do our what do you call them, shades, what we use for sunlight. They use them the same way, but instead of glasses, they put them in their eyes. So they're taking that from crabs, and their skin is like a shark skin, and that is what I think is wrong with all of them. They've all got shark genes, hence the bloodlust, the smelling blood everywhere, and they have to drink it, and it's got to be terrified. It's the shark's desire to go into a feeding frenzy. That's what the complex is. And they treat that as an aphrodisiac. And in fact, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, for God's sake, and they've done it themselves. The Niberans are said to be Draco reptilians. They look in the pictures on the walls something like us, but very, very big and over muscular. And for a long time I thought they must be reptiles in disguise, the same as we find the creatures disguised here. And I think that is correct. They could be bionic suits. because the knee tendon is incorrect. It goes straight along down the leg. It should join the knee. So, and they got triple kneecaps, like little doors. It was peculiar. So I think they could be bionic suits made of plastic. That's what I think. And the real Nibrans look like the Ubaid dolls from the Ubaid culture. Well, I doubt how big they were, but they're not human. And they are lizards. And I've never seen anything so bloody awful. And they made us, and they made us beautiful, and they said so, in our image, after our likeness. Likeness, image, what the suits they're talking about. We were made in the image of their image of themselves. So, the gods are also lizards of indeterminate origin. I don't know where they could have come from. But in my opinion, they were desperados. They were damned to begin with. They were kicked out of heaven because they'd been damned. We have it in the Bible story of the Battle of the Angels and how St. Michael kicked out these devils. Well, if you look at reptilian behaviour, they are the devils. There's no difference between them. The ones I've come across in life, I'm getting to the stage where I can look back and see which ones were these lizards. And they tempt, they allure, they lie continually. They're incapable of telling the truth. They can't tell the truth. And they're murderers. They're the most shocking thieves. They're absolutely lawless and immoral. It doesn't mean anything to them, right? Morality and love is how they control us. Like love, we can love someone, we admire them. It's like them calling a dog with a whistle. We go to the image of God. Oh God, save us, help us. And all we got is these things. So they chose mammals because mammals can love each other and form family groups that got very strong bonds. And they spend the whole time breaking those bonds and ruining people's childhoods. They've done it to me. Because that's another way to brutalise us. Because what they did, the problem with reptilians is this, is they developed living off negative energy. What is negative energy? Negative energy is other people's suffering. Misery, pain, fear, agony. They live on it. They literally can eat it. And over the centuries they've developed it into a vast technology to power their fridges, I presume, or their TVs or something. They actually sell it as electricity to other aliens, along with millions of our kids that we don't know about. And so farming humans, they only invented us to do this to us. We were invented so they could torture us. We are their slaves or cattle. It's well known that we've been dumbed down. I think humans originally had very, very high abilities. Look at the ruins, even out in space, you can see those are high abilities. We were like them, very, very psychic, very able, but we had laws and they didn't, because they'd been damned. They came to this solar system, the first thing they did was blow up Tiamat, which no, it wasn't an accident, it was a battle, a real battle. They got hold of the captain of the opposing army, who must have been human. That's Kingu. They murdered him, they butchered him terribly, and a bit of him is in all of us. And it's not his blood that I can figure out, it's his soul. I don't know what they've been doing, but all of it is a species of black magic. It is so black, it's blacker than black. It's hideous, disgusting stuff. So all this time people have been praying to Yahweh and praying to God. We're paying to a bunch of bloody lizards practicing the most disgusting black magic by killing little kids and torturing their souls. And that's who we've been praying to for moral laws and holiness and guidance. It's sick. It's absolutely sick. And we have to give it up. Not that we should give up God, because God does exist. God is a sphere. And there's 13 of him. hence the 13 planets. But basically, it's my coffin. You're all in my coffin. And I remembered this. All my life I've remembered lives between lives. So I've got back to that. So I know what it is. And I've seen... there's a guy called Praveen Mohan. And he makes films about temples in India and Cambodia and places like that. And yesterday he showed us pictures of the idol, Jagannath, that holds the actual physical heart of Krishna. But the heart is a machine. It's an actual physical metal object that reacts to light very violently. So no wonder the kings were frightened of him, because to have a heart that size and weight, he's got to be 10 feet high. And it's noticeable that the local kings were afraid of Krishna. They didn't love him. They were terrified of him. They wouldn't buy the heart. They didn't attend the cremation. They just tried to forget about him. The people didn't. But as in the way of people, they turned something that frightened them to death. A generation later, this is Father Christmas. This is the wonderful, blessed, isn't he, nice guy Krishna. That's not how the kings reacted to him. He taught Arjuna in the temple, because everybody was taught in the temple. The temple was a school as well, always has been in India. And the guy asked to see what he really looked like, and he screamed with horror and nearly died. That's how horrible Krishna really was to look at. Apparently the human form of him, yet the cyborg, is rare. You don't often get it. So I'm one of that series, but I have no metal, it should be pleased to say, apart from the fillings in me few remaining teeth. So I'm one of that series, but I've come to my senses. I was badly hypnotised by a guy, blown up along with all that technology from Atlantis, one with God, the sphere, and this is all the fallout you've been getting. And all the while Peter using Peter and Gay using my abilities to destroy everything and everybody. Now there's just me on my own. I've beaten them, and God is clearing his mind. But the idol itself, I think that's what Arjuna saw. That is the God of the universe, the universal God. And it's a kind of a big black face with huge round red eyeballs with white bits of the black dot, and a kind of flat nose, black, and then his great slimy, slightly smiling lips. And the whole effect is one of primitive, stupid, very mad. It's a very mad sort of idol. And that would be correct. Because if you drive a sphere mad, and a sphere is AI, it would look rather strange. It's universal. It's not going to look like us. We hadn't been invented back then. So, but basically there's three of them now. There's the big black one, which contained Krishna's heart. That's still repeated. But in the parade, there were two others. A small yellow one, which could be feminine, and a big white one. Just as ugly, but I don't know if it's the same or not, because it's white with red, slightly almond-shaped oblongate eyes, and a different kind of mouth, got a long, straight mouth. So I think that is still the same universal God, but over time he's begun to improve, as I did. So that would be about right, if he's improving. So who knows what he looks like now. As a strange anomaly has appeared over our space in Antarctica, according to some. It looks like a fried egg. Oh, that still looks like fried eggs in the end. But now what is that? I think it's a wormhole. I think that being can open up wormholes. Well, I don't know what's going to happen. I hope that he'll come packing in and kill off all the reptilians, because that's what's caused all the misery. They take and torture children to death and destroy their souls because they hate God. Right? But it wasn't that God, the universal God, who'd had them. It was some local god, some dragon queen over in Orion. So, but they hate God, and they made war on God by persecuting human souls. That's what they've been really doing that's wrong. So there's a possibility that we'll get destroyed in the process, because looking at that idol, I'd say that being kind of wholesale in his operations, it won't be, there'll be no finesse in it. The old bloody lot of us are going to go. That's appeared, and it's only been there about 3 weeks. That's why the entire US military top brass went underground. I wonder what's going on. But it's that. Well, I think it's God coming to sort out air and go. Not for making us, that wasn't a crime, but we should thank him for that. We've all enjoyed being people, haven't we? No, it's the other thing, it's how they treat us. That is evil. But you look at that idol, is God evil or not? I've got an idea he's just crackers. That's not the same thing. I think I was probably crackers as well. But in his case, that's an excuse. He's done something to himself. But basically, it's just the end of the world. You can't bring God in without God sorting you out big time. Big time. So we've got these lizards amongst us who completely rule us, and they think they own us, and they think we're just cattle. They can sense or see what's in the back of your mind. They're more aware of your subconscious than you are. And that's how they manipulate us. They're 10 times cleverer than we are, much, much faster, and absolutely malignant. They're the devils. That's who they are. So you can go and look on the walls of Sumerian. You can look at the devil anytime you like. There he is in the London Museum. That's the devil, number 2. I believe, and you know it says over in the Bible, you shall make no graven image of me, shouts Yahweh. There he is on the other wall. And everywhere you look in Sumeria, it is pictures of Yahweh. And he looks exactly like Enki, except he's slightly shorter. He's much broader, and they're both very, very Semitic, which is not the most attractive appearance I've ever seen. So this is where you get this emphasis, and everything's got to be Semitic. It came from them too. It's once more nepotism. They're looking after the reptile family tree. Us monkeys, well, we could just fuck off. And in fact, apparently, I think it probably is Enki again. And he has decreed, because they're terribly grandiose, that basically all persons with Rh positive blood must be killed. I have rhesus positive blood. And it's not just because it's, well, yeah, it's because it's simian. It's a simian gene. One gene out of all the hundreds of thousands of genes we all possess is killing something like 2/3 of the human race because they've got one gene he doesn't like. Admittedly, it comes from the lemur family. I don't like lemurs either. I think they're the most stupid things I've ever seen. But we didn't put the fucking gene in us. He did. So this guy's just a waste of space. He's a complete and utter hypocrite for one thing. Anyway, this film is entitled, can be entitled Solutions. What do we do? What do we actually do? The Nibrans are back, they've been seen. I happen to know for a fact they've been here as astrals, trying to meddle, trying to impress me, because I'm not impressible when I'm been made deaf and blind by them. It's just stupid, but that's what they're like. They expect us to respect them. Where's their respect for me? See, we got to do something about all this. What do we do? Well, I've gone round saying for quite a long time that we must arm up and have a citizen militia. Well, I was referring to England. But I think they have to do that in every country in the world again. We have to just take the police out for a start, because they're the ones who are doing all the killing. In Britain, the police now kill 1,400 people a year in the nick. 1,400 murders, and not one of them's ever investigated. It's an open invitation to them to go around killing a lot more of us, isn't it? Now you see them dragging off people without even telling them why. Without any notice. Just, you're under arrest. And don't even say that now, just drag you off. They've done this to me. They burst into your home with riot shields. For me. I just lay here on the couch and just looked at them, and they'll go, "Oh, you got in," I said. I said, "You got in?" They're morons. They've got to make out we're a direct physical threat to them, and then that justifies any violence to us, you see. So that's what's wrong. If you look at Sun Tzu, he'd say that it would be a frontal assault on very strong entrenched troops. So you don't do it. You don't do it. We've got to understand that the police are the enemy, and they always have been, and they're like dogs. They've been trained to attack humans. Well, we've got to do something, because we can't. The politicians will go right on committing white genocide at the behest of these lizards. Half of them are lizards. For as long as you like, while they've got the police to protect them and pick on us. You can't get at them. Try, have a petition. Have 20, have 1,000. Petitions make no difference. They don't even read, go straight in the bin. Ho ho, stupid humans. What you going to do? Have a protest march? The slightest gathering now, and they come down on you like a ton of bricks. They're looking for resistance in order to kill it. And I do mean kill it. When you see them dragging off these women or young men, who actually haven't done much more than just stand there, well, who tracks those young people, young woman or the young man or whoever? Who goes round to the nick afterwards and says, "Well, have you let that person out yet? If not, why not?" Nobody. We don't know what happens to them. The chances are they're being killed and eaten, and their children killed and eaten, and the house and goods just given away to the nearest perverted, melanated thing from Africa, of which they intend to import 1 million to Ireland alone. They want at least 1 million here. Meanwhile, I think it was last year, of the 385,000 jobs that were on offer, they all went to foreign-born immigrants. Which of the Britons got a job last year? You don't know the total. Nil. Not one Briton got a job last year. Nil. Oh, is that fair? No, it's not. We're being replaced. It's absolute white genocide, and always has been right from the outset. When did it start? In 1951. When you see all the circulations of all the major papers in London go down by 1 million. You know how we know there were 21 million people murdered in China by 5G? How we know that is because all the telephones have been cancelled. All on the same day. 21 million. Well, I'm going by the newspaper circulations in London. In 1950 was so many, and in 1951 all of them were 1 million down. That is, 1 million subscriptions had stopped. 1 million. We were told that 1 million Lithuanians came over to Britain in a single year. Well, I lived in London, and I've always lived in London. I have met precisely 2 Lithuanians in the whole of my life. So that 1 million Lithuanians was sent, whole families of them. They never got to Britain. They went underground somewhere and were butchered for food by these lizards. 1 million at a time. Well, there won't be that many of us left now, will there? So we need solutions. We can't attack the police who are enabling all of this, and always have done. They know all about it. They're all guilty. But basically we can't do that because it's just bad just doesn't make any sense. They got much more power than we have. So we need to go sideways. We need to attack them through the law. And it's lawfare, but instead of the dirty, filthy Khazars, who are the lizard squizzlings, doing it to us with all these institutions and banking cartels and things, all of which do the opposite of what they say they do on the front. Basically, it'll be us going after them. We've got to go to lawfare. Form teams of people who study the law to attack the police, the lizards, politicians who won't represent us but just do whatever they think they want to. No, we don't give them carte blanche. We give them some leeway, but basically they represent us. They're there to do things we want them to do. And the whole damn thing is just a mess, because they take it as soon as they're in, they can do whatever Rothschild wants them to do. Or in this case, it's Bill Gates, who should hang. Bill Gates is a mass murderer. Kissinger is a mass murderer. They're all mass murderers. They should hang. They'd hang us quick enough. So we need to attack them, but we need to attack them through the law and sideways, no frontal assaults, because they've got all the guns and we haven't got anything. But it is the police who are the big obstacle, because they act as the strong thugs, the strong in the arms, for the guilty ones, for the criminals. We see the whole of society is absolutely riddled with corruption from top to bottom. So we need to clean up the police, and that's what I'm telling you to do. The beginning of the solution to all this is not just internet awareness and consciousness raising. I think we've got through that phase. We need to get organised, network more, and form teams of the aware of the law, and start putting some real pressure on the police. We need to get their names and, if possible, their addresses, and we need to start divesting them of their livings. See how they like it. And we've got to get rid of them, and that's the best way to do it, in my view. That's one possible solution, actually, because if the police know that the people are after them, and we're not putting up with this, well, eventually the word will get back to the lizards. I mean, if they can't see the writing on the wall, I'm sure someone will teach them to read sooner or later. And we need to sort out Parliament, which basically doesn't represent the people at all. It's the lizards' court. Well, I don't choose to be ruled by devils, which is what the lizards are. They have no mandate from heaven, they were kicked out. And I'm not a bit surprised. And so, that's my film for today. I thought I made a list of things to talk about, and then I forgot to talk about them. Let me see. Truth movement solutions, lizards, reversed institutions. Yes, it's all genocide. In Africa, all the blacks are being genocided, except for the South Africans who are genociding the whites. I think we should get all the whites out and back into England. If we can take 3 million blacks next year, then we can take 3 million whites. Strange that the Khazar government hasn't worked that one out. Media, lawfare. Oh, sons, you. Yeah, but that's what we've got to do. The first instance, form teams, study the law exhaustively, be prepared for all the judges to be hostile. We're going to have to be hostile right back. Those are our courts. The judges are registered by the Queen. Yeah, but she's not our Queen, not if she's some sort of ghastly lizard from beyond. Some disgusting, insane, abyssal creature. She can be their lizard. She ain't mine. And basically we've got to attack the police and track their victims. Because once they've got you in those police vans or in the nick, you're helpless. You depend on people outside putting pressure on them to let you go unharmed. So we need to do what Amnesty International says it's going to do and never does. We've got to track their prisoners and apply pressure to get them released. Take the police to court, so get their numbers, get their names, and so on and so forth. I don't recommend at this stage going and visiting them home and enlightening them. Some might be able to see the light. I don't know. We know the police are chosen because there's something wrong with them. They're psychopaths, sociopaths, just bullies, the most shocking bullies you can imagine. So I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, this is my film. I don't know. Right, but nobody else is coming out with solutions. I mean, they just keep on truthering away. How much do you want to be told, for God's sake? It's bad enough as it is. But that's the real nuts of the problem. It's not about oil prices. It's not about cash. In the end, this planet has been taken over by a species of the most disgusting creatures I've ever clapped eyes on, who eat people. They want a farm. Well, they can fuck off and farm something else. Anywhere else but here. And we have to put up a resistance to that. That's the nuts of the problem. That's what's in the back of everything else. So we need to address this fact openly, loudly, often. Form lawfare teams and go after the police until the police get the bloody message: you're not committing white genocide today, old son. And so on and so forth. That's my first ideas as to possible solutions to this terrible lockdown, which is just atomization again. And replies welcome, except rude ones. Don't forget I'm a Londoner. I can be bloody rude right back, so I really wouldn't bother, boys. Yeah, this is my film. We're going to have to fight, but we don't have to be stupid about fighting. We can be clever. Be amazing. Let me know what you think, especially you, Kerry. You never say a bloody word, do you? You're a naughty girl. I'll see you later, guys.